came up in the group situation, I immediately threw it under the table. Because for me, as head of household, there was nothing for me to do. Of course, in the group discussion, it had to be passed around.
Mm-hmm.
But
sure,
I wanted Nick out.
Mm-hmm. No, I understand that.
So when they say that your name got brought up, and if they're telling you that I actively pursued you in leaving, that's where the line is crossed from truth and lie.
Well, no, I just heard that after the POV was won, that you ran up to Dick and asked if I was going up. That was the.
Oh, well, Danielle and Dick's intentions were, I mean, they brought the five of us up there, Dick and Danielle.
Right.
Brought the five of us up and said, Jen and Kale, third week on the block. This is ridiculous. They're setting records. One of those two bitches has to go. If Jen or Kale wins power veto and takes himself off, Zach's going up. Quote unquote verbatim words. You can ask anybody up there.
Sure.
It's exactly what happened. But then she said, Zach's going up because you, with Nick and Mike being gone, Jen and Kale being on the block, were next in Dick and Danielle's firing squad.
Mm.
So they made an out and outright point to say Zach is going up and one of those two bitches will go home. So you would have been the replacement nominee. It was I can't say or not if it was their intention to have you leave.
Well, what I'm wondering is then why did they put Eric up there?
They put Eric up there because they couldn't make a statement to the group in front of Eric because he was still a part of that group. Danielle was still gathering information about.
Well, I mean, is there any merit to the accusations that exist for him?
See,
I would like to think that he's not 100% scot-free.
I don't think he was 100% scot-free. I do believe that he could have possibly been teamed up with Jen. At this point, that situation is exhausted.
I have no idea.
But, I mean, and that's just one thing. I mean, Dick and Danielle suddenly hang out with Jen. You know what I mean? So it's situations like that where...
The funny thing that I thought was that all of a sudden Jen won POV, and as soon as she won POV, she all of a sudden became part of the jury.
Yeah.
And that's where I thought they had to make amends to get a vote.
Well, but also look at the manner in which they all hang out, in which they treat each other. In my belief, there's something more going on there. They put the discrepancies aside. I feel that they put the discrepancies aside, and
for maybe a mutual gain.
For a mutual gain, so that I believe honestly that the three of them have teamed up.
It's possible.
And that's what I think because
I think Jen's just an outsider.
But I
she
had
doesn't
baited
have
Jen
a place to go.
I had baited Jen with information, and I had dropped lines to her, in which had come back to me from Dick. So,
I did that with him too. Actually, I did that with Dick.
With Dick? What do you mean?
I baited information to Dick about things, and they came back to me.
Yeah.
No, I want him gone.
I want Dick gone, and I think that the whole house, honestly, will stand and clap when he leaves.
I'll vote him out.
Absolutely. Under no circumstances, strategically or personally, would that be a smart move for anybody to vote him to stay, even his own flesh and blood. I told her last week, I said the power veto is going to be played tomorrow.
I think he's hurting her game immensely.
Tragically.
But I think he's already done the damage that can't be repaired personally.
Well, I told her last week, I said, Danielle, your father's a sinking ship and you're going down with him. I said, you have the choice to either rip that bond apart right now and put him up when Jen plays POV, or else you will go home next. She looked at me and said, fuck you.
She never did that.
Well, the thing is, remember them week 1, week 2. There was no bond there.
I think the whole Nick situation is what solved that.
And unfortunately, he's no longer here. That's why the two of them teamed after Eric. They tried to find one person that got him out of the house because they couldn't blame themselves. Dick could not blame himself for the reason that Nick left, and he once again hurt his daughter. So he seeked, and he dragged Amber's name, Jamaica's name, my name, and Eric's name through the mud until he finally came up with a straw that was clean, and that was Eric's. And that's
That's
when,
a good analogy.
yeah. And then so Dick and Danielle ran through this house, fabricated, stretched, exasperated themselves so thin about Eric. Under which circumstances?
See, I don't know any. I mean, I can't agree with any of that. The only reason I voted the way I did is because I was more threatened by him than I was with Kale.
Right.
And the
Due
only
to her
reason,
circumstance
and
and
the
the
only
HOH.
reason that was because of those HOHs.
Right. Exactly.
And he's like, dude, I would have done the same thing.
And the reason in which I
don't want him to hold a
understand
grudge
that is
against me.
because
but-
I understand that.
but if
The
you-
one thing I looked at you was consistency in your vote, because for 2 weeks in a row you had voted Kale out, and then on the third week you had voted her to stay.
And that was
so-
based on the HOHs.
Right, and that's understandable.
Because she can't hurt me.
Right.
Maybe with a vote, but she can't hurt me.
But she can't hurt you until it's down to the final two, until that very last head of household competition.
I think that gets it down to 3.
Right. Like I said, and then that
Oh,
very last
right.
head of household competition is the only one that she could have been a part of. So,
I'm still dumbfounded at Jamaica's move in the last POV. I don't understand why.
it was faith-based.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, you mean with her HOH thing?
Yeah, the 5 HOHs.
Yeah.
I don't have a clue. I'm just blown away. Like,
That was something I don't know why she did that either. And like she said today, that she absolutely regrets it. Will you hand me one too, please? She said she absolutely regretted it. You know?
God damn. I got this like reoccurring scab in my nose. Oh, it hurts like hell.